Michael, always a pleasure to talk to you. And it was absolutely an amazing turn of events after the game Saturday night against the New York Rangers, which was just, it had everything. I mean, both teams played a heck of a hockey game. They had 47 shots on the New York Rangers. They had a great 3-on-3. They won in a shootout. They turned Henrik Lundqvist around not once but twice to win the game in the shootout. And you figure, okay, here we go. Then last night, very much like last year, very much like a Groundhog Day situation, all of a sudden it just didn't come to play. And they took a Buffalo Sabres team a little bit too lightly and ended up losing the game 4-3. So I just amazes me the difference in events from Saturday to last night.
Very eerily similar to last year, Coatsey, where they struggled against teams that were not playoff quality teams, and then they played well against the playoff quality teams. That seemed like they had an issue with that last year.
It's exactly right, and there's just no way to figure it out. You can't turn and say, well, the reason is.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very big week for this hockey club because last night you got the Buffalo Sabres, a team you should beat. Tomorrow night you got the New Jersey Devils, a team you should beat. Both teams are in transition. Both teams are starting from scratch. Then you got the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo Friday night. Then you head all the way out west to take on Vancouver, and Winnipeg. So you got to win these games here before you head out there, and that's not a good start last night.
No, it's not. As you mentioned, tomorrow against the rematch against the Sabres on Friday. What'd you think of the kid, Eichel? I heard you in the pregame last night, talking about his college career and how he was, and this young wave of kids coming into the league. What did you see from him, getting a chance to see him up close and personal?
I saw an unbelievable offensive upside to Eichel, but I'll tell you what, he doesn't play defense. And they're going to have a problem with that. Now, I don't know if that's a work in progress with him where they're going to let him do what he does or just wait for the upside and let him learn the offensive part. When he goes, boy, does he have a skating stride that's scary. I mean, he just accelerates like no tomorrow. He did that last night where the defenseman kind of looped back in the 3-on-3 and just said, you know what, let me give it to him. And then he just took the puck and went firing down the wing and got a great opportunity on Steve Mason. But when it comes to playing defense, that's not one of his strong suits right now.
No, and I guess that comes with being, an 18, 19-year-old kid in this league is typically, I guess that's something that comes later on down the road. And you see that a lot. There's a lot of young kids in this league, and a lot of them don't play defense.
No, and that's why he's a -7 hitting in the last night's game. And then I actually said, I don't think we're going to see this kid in the last 3-4 minutes in a game that's, they're leading 3-2, heading into the final minutes. I wouldn't have had him on the ice, and next thing you know, he was out there. So it was good for the Flyers because I don't think they scored when he was on the ice, but he's going to be an exciting player to watch. There's no two ways about it.
I'm talking with Steve Coates, the Flyers radio network, of course, here on 97.3 ESPN. Steve Mason, last night, 4 goals on 40 shots. He had no shot on the overtime winner, though. What did you think of Mason since he's been back?
I think he's been strong. I think that he's played very well. I think he's come up with the saves. I think that he's got to get away from this one bad goal syndrome. Now, I'm not saying it's one bad goal a game, but last night, Tyler Ennis comes from behind and just flips the puck, and Meese was in a very precarious position up against that pipe. It went up underneath his arm and actually went into the far corner. You can't have goals like that, not in the National Hockey League in this world today. And it gets your team off to a bad start. You're down 1-0 in your own building, so then you got to fight back. And that's just not the way to start a hockey game in your own building. As Ken Hitchcock used to say, you can't chase the game. And this team has been very successful in coming back, but the numbers don't really favor teams trailing and then fighting back to win games. So you just got to get off to a good start in this league today.
Yeah, and we see Vinny Lecavalier will make his debut tomorrow night. He will be in the lineup for the first time, and there's been a lot of injuries. Here's one for you, Coatsey. How does Ron Hextall keep a straight face when he is asked to discuss the injury to Raffle, and he says, yeah, it's an upper body injury, when the man was elbowed in the head?
Well, you can thank the I don't know if it was the general managers or who it was that said that we have to keep it top secret what's going on in the injury situation in the NHL. It's very much like last night, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare goes down and he's holding on to his knee. Well, we know he's holding on to his knee or his ankle, but yet we come out and say that it's a lower body injury. So then what everybody does, then they try to start to guess. And we're not doctors, but we still guess. And it's kind of silly. I really think it's kind of silly.
It's just hilarious. He said, "Yep, it's upper body. It's an upper body." Yeah, he got elbowed in the face. We're well aware of that. I couldn't believe he kept.
Michael Raffel was a funny one because he actually went over and he started to keel over on the bench. He was the one. He ran into the elbow. It wasn't an elbow at him.
Right.
He went head first in the guy's elbow. So then he went back to the bench, and we picked up on the replay. Chris Terry, actually between the benches, picked up on it and told the bench that he'd hit as he was keeling over. But then we got to come out and say it's an upper body injury. Yeah, we know. It's fascinating to me. In football, they tell you what the injury is, and all the other sports, they tell you what the injury is. And I can see if it had been 20 years ago when we were a little bit of a rougher type of game where if a guy knew that he had a broken foot, somebody might actually slash you in the foot.
Right.
Those days are gone. That's a dinosaur day. So I don't know why we keep doing this.
Especially if Eichel's playing defense.
Yeah, he's not going to. That's an oxymoron.
You said Buffalo. You got Buffalo, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg. Coatsey, what is your favorite Western Canadian city out of that bunch?
Well, I tell you what, Vancouver's probably one of the finest cities in North America. I mean, that's just spectacular. Edmonton's a nice city. Calgary's a nice city. Winnipeg, we'll just say that it's on the schedule.
Then a home game with Colorado, so you'll be out of town for quite a while, but you'll hear them right here on 97.3 ESPN and 1450, your home for the Flyers, as they take on the Devils tomorrow night. Last chance to see the Flyers at home until November the 10th. So this is, as you mentioned, Coatsey, a very important stretch for this team, and I guess it'll be the real first test for a rookie head coach having to travel and the grind of being on the road.
Well, it's going to be mixed feelings for him. I think he's done a great job. And I think he's got a great attitude. He's got a good philosophy. He understands the game. He's really got a great demeanor. And I look forward to going to the rink and seeing the changes that are happening with this team. Because I think outside of last night, I think that we see a great upside on this team. It's off to an awful lot better start it has. It's actually the best start we've had since 2010-11. And for him, he's going to be going home. He's from Edmonton, Alberta, just outside of Edmonton. So it's going to be a neat thing for him to visit his family and things like that, or have his family visit him. But I think he would like to have a couple of wins under his belt prior to that to make himself feel a little bit better. And
you got to feel good, too. You got a guy like Voracek who really has gotten off to a slow start, that things, could get better for this team offensively because you know that he's going to get himself going soon.
You know what you have with the first line, you know what you have with the fourth line. With Bellemare going down last night, that doesn't help. But you're getting the secondary scoring. You got Matt Reed back playing a lot better. Umberger's playing better. Shen got a couple of goals last night. He's got 4 now on the year. That's what they needed last year, and that's what they've got going right now. But now you got the secondary scoring, and the big boys aren't scoring. So they need the Raffles and the Giroux and the Voraceks to get it going. And I think it's just a matter of time. It's not for lack of opportunity. I mean, they had a lot of great opportunities last night. Right now, they're just kind of stake-bitten, but it'll get better. Well, we look forward to it. As we mentioned, Buffalo, New Jersey tomorrow, Buffalo on Friday. Fly Guys right now at 4-2-2 in the Metropolitan. He's Steve Coates from the Flyers Radio Network, of course, here on the Sports Bash 97.3. Coatesy, always a pleasure, pal. Michael, thank you. Do you want me to send you a postcard from Winnipeg? Yes, Winnipeg. I would like some fare from Winnipeg. Let me know how it is out there. Portage and Maine, the coldest corner in America. Woo, baby. All right, well, enjoy Western Canada.